Yes, South Africa's most dangerous power struggle isn't taking place in parliament, it's happening in the shadows, where encrypted messages and leaked documents are turned into weapons. They even use classified information to turn them into weapons. The Madlanga Commission is beginning to expose how political operatives and information brokers work together, not to really inform the public, which I suspected. They're not really informing the public, the media in South Africa, but they do to manipulate the public. And then the center of this covert operation is a network linking Vusimuzi, Matlala, and Calvin Ratlhogo Rafadi. So let's have a look at this relationship through this clip from Madlanga Commission, so you guys understand what I'm talking about here. And I'll give you a summary of what is going on here.
That takes us then to page 58. On 7 January 2025, Mr. Rafadi sends Mr. Matlala a link to an interview with Paul O'Sullivan, complaining about the appointment of a person within human resources and crime intelligence. This appointment would ultimately form the basis of the criminal charges brought against Lieutenant General Khumalo. Again, Chair, the link, the witness describes this as Mr. Paul O'Sullivan complaining about the appointment of a person in crime intelligence by General Khumalo. Unless the Chair requests, we won't play the entire interview of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan.
Please continue.
Thank you. On 13 January 2025, Mr. Matlala shares crime intelligence story, and Mr. Rafadi indicates a desire to write about it. In response, Mr. Matlala undertakes to share that article with the minister. So the article, the crime intelligence story, is reflected at the bottom of paragraph 96. It's a News 24 article. It's a News 24 article, and it's the headline is "Lone Robber Walks Out of Crime Intelligence Unit with 1.3 million rand in a bag." And then there's a response by Mr. Rafadi saying, "Nanzo, they covering up so minister won't find out the splash funds corruption, staging robberies," followed by a laughing face emoji. Mr. Matlala's response to that, to Mr. Rafadi, is, "You want to run a story?" Are you there? So Mr. Matlala says, "You want to run a story?" Mr. Rafadi responds, "I'm arranging."
As you have heard from this clip from Madlanga Commission, there were payments and favors that were made to Calvin Ratlhogo Rafadi, in exchange for carrying out media and propaganda functions for Vusimuzi Matlala. Rafadi is not a journalist, actually, which is these people. He is a forensic practitioner and media operative and close ties to law enforcement and intelligence structure. He even has a profile at University of Johannesburg.
On 13 January 2025, Mr. Rafadi shares another story related to crime intelligence. And this headline reads as follows: "5-star flop. Crime intelligence bosses splurged 22.7 million rand for luxury hotel amid budget cuts." Below that headline of the article is then what appears again to be a post on social media that Mr. Rafadi shares, talking about a section commander at the financial account section of the Secret Service account, who is one of the alleged to be one of the owners of the hotel, and the post goes on to basically continuing with that allegation. And that's 13 January 2025. On 27 March 25, Mr. Rafadi shares a news article related to crime intelligence in which it's alleged that General Khumalo tried to frame General Khan. And below paragraph 98, you'll see the screenshot of the article. And that's an article that appears to have been published in the Daily Maverick on 26 March 2025. And the headline is Ongoing Cocaine Crime Intelligence Scandal Fuels Suspicions of Police Involvement in Global Drug Trafficking. On 31 March 2025, Mr. Rafadi sends the General Intelligence Laws Amendment Act 2024 to Mr. Matlala. The amendments relate mainly to crime intelligence. That's attached as RF9 to the chats. On 29 March 2025, Mr. Rafadi shares General Masemola's letter withdrawing posts advertised for senior crime intelligence positions. That's RF7.
So this wasn't just an ordinary communication. It was a coordinated propaganda exchange where internal security developments were turned into media talking points to shape perception and target individuals inside the South African police services. This whole thing. When I say there is an information war going on around this issue, that I've picked up very well, that's going on as we speak. This thing, information war about propaganda, has a very covert element into it. All right, so yeah, very concerning, this one. So Rafadi he frequently goes to Newsroom Africa. Yeah, he has a lot of influence because of his name, the profile of University of Johannesburg. So they list him as a research associate under the South African Research CHI chair in Africa Diplomacy and Foreign Policy, with a qualification of policing, cybersecurity, the risk management, and government investigation. He's registered member of professional bodies like Institution of Commercial Forensic Practitioners and the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners and the Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority. Yes, your presser, this one here. So then you wonder how did Vusimuzi Matlala registered a security company despite having this checkers past, despite this dodginess, despite this criminality? How did he register his company? Is these people like him? I'm not saying he's responsible for that, but he's actually has a registered member of this organization, Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority. So his biographer described active collaboration with the SAPS and the NPA and the SIU, the SARS, and notably various media houses. That mix of security access and media connections makes him the perfect information broker, someone who can translate classified material into public narratives. this Rafadi. And there's also another one clip from Madlanga Commission wherein he actually asking money for exchange of phone number of citizens, private citizens, undermining the privacy law of South Africa, the POPIA law, Protection of Personal Information Act, undermining a lot of national security data, sending, there was quid for pro of information to this criminal, hardcore criminal, Vusimuzi Matlala, this person, Rafadi, all right? Using his professional name, his link to a very good university, University of Johannesburg, to do these shady deals outside.
Below paragraph 7, and an emoji that I can't make out, followed by Mr. Matlala saying, Mr. Rafadi, sir, I would love to help you, but this is not a good time. The company is not going good at all. I need to keep the company stable. It's really bleeding now. On 15 January 2025, Mr. Rafadi requests...
Ms. Hassan, can I just ask just to, so that I don't make mistakes later. And sorry, I'm going to take you back to paragraph 72 of the statement. There's a reference there to a company, Biz Tracers, where the witness says that's Mr. Rafadi's company. And then earlier when you were discussing, I think, General Sinona, and I'm looking at page 17, paragraph 35.2, there is again memo Biz Tracers. Are you able to say it's the same company? Will we be hearing more? If not, will we be hearing more to see if there's a relationship between what looks like companies with the same name?
It appears to be the same company, Commissioner Beloy.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Rafadi, if we then just move on from there, we were dealing with, so there was payment for the tuition fees, a request for further money, and then on 15 January, Mr. Rafadi requests petrol, and you see it in the screenshot below paragraph 73. On 15 January, Mr. Rafadi says, copper petrol, with the picture of a petrol pump again. On 31 January 25, Mr. Rafadi sends a message to Mr. Matlala saying, any spare car I can use, ? Please. Mr. Matlala responds, I had one, but the bank took it. I'm expecting a car next month. On 2 March, Mr. Rafadi requests petrol, and that's in the extract from the chats. 2 March at 6:51 in the morning, please send me petrol. Again with the emoji of a petrol pump. On 7 March 2025, Mr. Rafadi requests diesel. Please share diesel when you get. Followed by a phone call. On 17 March, Mr. Rafadi sends account details for his business. And you'll see in the chat the account details, and the account holder is reflected as the director Biz Tracers. That's followed by phone calls between the two. On 17 March 2025, still that same day, Mr. Rafadi requests petrol, and that's seen in the chat where he says copper petrol with a petrol pump. On 23 March 2025, Mr. Rafadi requests money, and in response, Mr. Matlala indicates, pardon me, Chair, my attention's being dragged away. One second. I'm going to be going a little bit slower. So we're at 23 March 2025. And Mr. Rafadi requests money, and in response, Mr. Matlala indicates he sent 3,000 rand. So if we just look at the extract of 23 March 2025, Mr. Matlala says, I sent 3K. This is followed by a message from Mr. Rafadi. I'm with someone who is close to our news. And then Mr. Matlala got the money, ? And then a GIF of a stamp that says payment received, many thanks. And another GIF of two hands clasping. On 9 April 2025, Mr. Rafadi requests money. And Mr. Matlala responds with a screenshot of a banking app showing a negative balance. So that's on 9 March, and you'll see a screenshot and the negative balance of 19,379 rand. On 12 April 2025, Mr. Rafadi sends a reminder to Mr. Matlala, and Matlala indicates that he will send it soon. So that's 12 April 2025. Mr. Rafadi says, please don't forget. Mr. Matlala responds, I will, Mr. Rafadi. They will send it to me soon. And Mr. Rafadi says, okay. On 15 April 2025, Mr. Rafadi sends a request for a vehicle. And in the WhatsApp, it says, don't you have any small car I can use meantime? On 16 April 2025, Mr. Rafadi requests a taxi or an Uber. He sends the address, that's evident from the screenshot. In response, Mr. Matlala sends a screenshot of the Uber details with the vehicle and driver's details. On 17 April, Mr. Rafadi requests as follows, any small resource to travel. And then Mr. Matlala responds, you want Uber? ? Mr. Rafadi, I need to use taxi to studio and after Gautrain to Pretoria. Mr. Matlala, send me address. Then this is followed by a call from Mr. Rafadi to Mr. Matlala. On 4 May 2025, Mr. Rafadi requests petrol. And that's reflected in the chat, 4 May 2025, where it says Copa Petrol. On 5 May 2025, Mr. Rafadi sends a reminder for money, and in response, Mr. Matlala indicated that he is down now, but will the following day or Wednesday. So the chat is reflected on 5 May 2025 as follows. Mr. Rafadi, if there is something, please share, followed by emojis with hands together. Mr. Matlala says, down now, brother, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday latest. Rafadi, okay. 9 May 2025, Mr. Rafadi requests petrol. He says, Copa Petrol to Mpumalanga. This is followed by phone calls between the two. On 17 May 2025, Mr. Rafadi requests money for car repairs, and that is reflected in the chat on 17 May. There's a screenshot of the company, the car service company invoice for the repairs to a vehicle. After Matlala made payment, Mr. Rafadi responded.
The commission also had about a collusion between Rafadi and private investigator Paul O'Sullivan, who publicly called for the removal of the police commissioner, General Masemola, about 9 months ago. He did an interview and BizNews about that, and we know that within that interview, he spoke about this classified information and spoke about this person who was working for intelligence for BMW, and how he was bragging really about how he harassed her and called her to resign by sending her emails at work and asking her how come she's in this role. Really what sounded to me like a harassment of a young woman at work.
But we need to get rid of the current Commissioner of Police. He's not fit and proper person for the job. At the time when he was appointed, I issued a report stating that he wasn't a fit and proper person, that he wasn't fit to be appointed as Chief of Police. This is the same person that came back from an overseas trip with a Louis Vuitton bag for his wife, handed to him by a supplier of the police, and he's still for some reason the Commissioner of Police, and I just don't understand what's going on. Now, I've gone on record as having been instrumental in removing 2 commissioners of police, and I've now made it clear that this Commissioner of Police needs to go, and the sooner he's gone, the better. And then perhaps we can see somebody with ethics and competence. It's not my job to say who should be.
The person that he wanted to be appointed is General Sibiya. Yep. Yeah. Think about it. If you watch those that submission, an ad hoc committee, a person who Sibiya doesn't even understand classified information, what it means. That he thinks that if people come into him and presented any classified information, oh, it is so perfect, I could use it for my own advantage.
That you work with communities, get information. But this is different. A civilian comes to you, gives you information about your intelligence services. Did it not concern you that how did a civilian get hold of this kind of information as a person given a responsibility to manage and control the police service?
No, it didn't concern me.
Why?
Because when someone comes to you with information that helps your cause, you do give attention to such information.
This is a person that Paul O'Sullivan thinks is fit and proper. Cry, my beloved country, cry.
I copied, so the email that I sent to her, I didn't copy it to the Commissioner of Police, I copied it to the Divisional Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sibiya, who's one of the few very decent, ethical senior officers in the police. And I copied it to him, who coincidentally, he's at loggerheads with crime intelligence, which falls under him. So I believe that somewhere along the way, it will get slipped in and dealt with in due course. But I doubt very much I will have to institute a civil action to get this woman removed from her position.
As you've heard, he bragged about that and about emailing crime intelligence, and gave compliment to Shadrach Sibiya at the time when he did this interview. But also we know that from Witness X, who pointed out that these reports that we discussed then and now were actually classified information. So the people who got hold of it were doing so illegally because classified information is not meant for public consumption. If you have concern, you need to address to the right channel. So which means the so-called exposés weren't transparent. They were leveraging. It was actually a coordinated disinformation strategy aimed at destabilizing the South African Police Service leadership from within. As you've heard from him saying he wants a police commissioner fired. I'm telling you. These people are just derailing you from very important things that are going on. So, what the Madlanga Commission really is revealing, according to my understanding, my observation and analysis, is far beyond just one man's misconduct. It actually exposes how intelligent, these classified intelligent leaks, the propaganda operatives, and the compromised media networks can merge into one single covert system of power, a system that doesn't really need the bullet to destroy reputation, but only needs the headlines and the people's images. And the story, when you open them, it has nothing to do with them. So South Africa might have gone through a lot of stuff, as they've alleged. It was state capture, and so far, what happened in this state capture? To be honest, I think this is actually the state capture. We're dealing with the state capture now. All right, that was not state capture. Under Zuma, yes, there was some corruption. It's not to say there was no corruption for coming after me, but there was no evidence of state capture then to this extent that we're finding out right now with this from this Madlanga Commission. So this one is the very subtle but yet profound. And it's to do with tarnishing people's images. It's to do it with reducing public trust to policing. Because we know that there has been really campaigning to want to have their own policing with South Africa is not a federal. To have your own policing, you need the whole constitution needs to change to have a policing of one state over the other. But still, you're still going to have a national policing. You can never have an independent policing from one province to another in any country. So this whole thing is them trying to capture weak police officer criminals like Sibia and to try to have them there because then they can control them. Because they're not able to control Mkwanazi. And that's why they're so mad. That's my analysis. That's how I see it. They're not able to control him to do the stuff they want to do. But then they'll use this media and other organization to try and propagate this misinformation about policing, to try and break the public trust to policing. It's not to say there's no issues there. There are a lot of issues there. But the role they play, it's very sinister. It's a very sinister role they play. So where the perceptions becomes right now a currency and influence, an influence of these organizations, they replace that truth. When someone has so much influence that whatever they say is the gold standard, you should be very worried and concerned about that. You should never have an institution or person who is that powerful that whenever they have a microphone, it becomes the gold standard. All right, the political killing task team may have been disbanded, but the information wars are still very much alive. I'm Connie. This is MzansiOz Diary, Justice Unmuted. Don't just read the headlines. decode them, because the real battles for power are being fought off camera, one leak at a time.